Good morning, Shrewsbury, and welcome to our annual coverage of the Memorial Day program parade. As you probably just saw and heard, we had a big motorcycle just go straight up the street, preceding what is actually coming from Town Hall. And we are at Town Center, as you can plainly see. Coming from Town Hall is the police car and fire truck leading the processional in to Town Hall. And the Memorial Day program this year is in memory of a very special person, well known to all of our community. It's in memory of Donald R. Gray. I'm going to read this briefly. He was born in Worcester. He graduated from Worcester Technical High School and later earned his bachelor's degree from Clark University. He enlisted and served in the U.S. Naval Reserves from 1946 and then in the U.S. Army during the Korean War, exiting service in August of 1953. And as you can see, we do have cars coming through. We do have color guard coming through the center here and color guard coming behind as well. The police, the fire department, color guards as I read this. Don was a longtime member, deacon, and church council member of the First Congregational Church. He was past master of the Matthew John Whittle Lodge of Masons in Shrewsbury and senior warden and line officer in the Worcester Lodge of Perfection of the Scottish Rites Bodies in Worcester and Springfield. He was also a member of the Scottish Rite and Aleppo Temple Shrine in Boston, as well as the Aletheia Grotto of Worcester, past president of the patrol. He was a member of the Colonial Degree Team of the Colonial Massachusetts, a past commander of the Royal 238, American Legion. He served as commissioner of Shrewsbury's Veterans Council, the WW1 Memorial Committee, and the Soldiers Memorial Commission. His leadership in our community was by many very, very true words. He was always a member of the Memorial Day Parade celebrations, proudly marching with his fellow veterans. And of course, Memorial Day, we are very lucky this May 26, 2025 Memorial Day, because the weather has been atrocious up to this day, and it is beautiful today. And as you can tell, we have the high school marching band coming through, doing a cadence just to get everybody set for the program that will be starting very shortly here at Town Center. We're right in front of our wonderful Shrewsbury Library, where we are every year marching. We have our Board of Select persons, Teresa Flynn, Beth Cassavan, Carlos Garcia, Michelle Conlon, and Greg Richards. Well, we are looking for Teresa. She may not be here, but she is certainly a member of our select board. And we are so grateful for all of our select persons who have such a difficult job with governing our town. It's growing so much, and so many decisions to be made as we listen to the high school marching band come through. And we can see following the band, we have color guard, the American Legion. We have active military personnel, Persian Gulf veterans marching, visiting veterans groups. We have a veteran getting a ride in a car coming through. We have Josette Huang, Miss County, Worcester County, Hunter Schultz, Miss Blackstone Valley, Olivia Bellis, Miss Worcester County's teen, Layla Hosnander, Miss Blackstone Valley's team, coming through in a car as well. We have more veterans coming in that car behind them, and in a Jeep. Some more veterans getting a well-deserved ride. We have a very, very well-attended service here today. The crowd coming all the way from Town Hall up to Town Center here. Plenty of people on both sides of the street, plenty of people here giving very loud applause. There's a veteran waving at the crowd. And we have troops marching through behind the veteran. And those are Brownie troops, Girl Scout troops. And we will have some troop marching for a little bit here coming through the center, because the troops are very strong here in Shrewsbury. They do wonderful projects. The children of all ages learn such marvelous skills, camaraderie and friendship. It's just wonderful organizations that do so much for the kids and for the community. And you can see behind the Girl Scouts, we have the Boy Scouts. And again, here we are at the library, and there have been displays in the library as you walk in into the main lobby. Oftentimes you will see different projects that the different troops have performed, and they share their information or their projects with the town that way as well as online. And of course, so many wonderful things happening at the library. It's always great to come and check out what they have going on. And we have a little pause as our next troop is going to be coming through. You can see the Pack 114 starting to come into the town square here. And you can also tell we have a lovely breeze today, which is just a perfectly beautiful day. You can tell by the way the marvelous flags are flying. Oh, we have another good cadence coming through. The memorial address today will be by Staff Sergeant Christopher White. Going to have our welcome by John Travers, the commander of the Raystone Post. He's the master of ceremonies. The Gettysburg address will be by Pradnya Kaulagi, of the Shrewsbury High Speech and Debate Team. We're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance led by the Boy Scouts of America Pack 114 members Lincoln Detrick, Logan Detrick, and Rory Conlon. Great selection right there by the Shrewsbury Oak Middle School. That's the 7th and 8th grade band. It sounded very good. After the Pledge of Allegiance, we'll have the wreath ceremony and salute by Fred Russell. Fred, who is not only a Shrewsbury Media Connection member, a longtime member, but just a member of the Memorial Day Parade, of so many wonderful community things. Taps will be played by the Shrewsbury High School band members Aiden Kunch and Yarlin Suresh, and it looks like we're getting ready for the ceremony to start.
Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to our 2025 Memorial Day Parade. I'm Major Retired John Travers, the Master of Ceremonies for today's ceremony. Joining me today, I have local dignitary State Representative Hannah Kane, From our Select Board, Vice Chair Beth Cassavant, Michelle Conlon, Carlos Garcia, Greg Richards. And also joining us, I have Fire Chief Seth Colby, Police Chief Kevin Anderson. Today's that special day that we set aside to remember our fallen, those men and women who have given their lives for our freedom, for our way of life. Next month, June 14th, marks the 250th birthday of the Army, the Navy, and the Marine Corps, which are built for commitment and sacrifice. For those who have been down to Boston this last week, there are 37,000 flags that commemorate the men and women from Massachusetts that have given their lives for our country throughout our history. So it is, in fact, such a special day that we think of the fallen, we think of the Gold Star families, those that they've left behind, that every day is a Memorial Day. To start with today, we have Pradnya Kalaji, who will be doing the Gettysburg Address. She's with the Shrewsbury speech and debate team. That was, of course, the speech that Lincoln gave at Gettysburg after we lost 50,000 American lives, the greatest loss in one single battle in our American history. And President Lincoln wanted to ensure that we remembered the sacrifice and the loss given for our freedom.
Thank you. 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of it as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but they can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from this earth.
Thank you for those words, Pradnya. It is indeed, as Lincoln said, fitting and proper that we spend this day, like he did, remembering those fallen. It is now my honor and my privilege to introduce today's guest speaker, who's not just a veteran, but he's a hero. He's a local firefighter. Staff Sergeant Chris White is a native of Shrewsbury, graduated Shrewsbury High in 2015. He began his military career in July 2015, Fort Leonard, Missouri, where he completed both basic training and his military police school. In 2016, Sergeant White was stationed in Ansbach, Germany, serving as a military police officer responsible for the safety and security of the United States Army garrison in Ansbach. He also participated in joint operations with the German Federal Police, focusing on anti-terrorism initiatives. In 2017, he was recognized as the 94th Military Police Company Soldier of the Year. He went on to represent the 302nd Maneuver Enhancement Brigade in the U.S. Army's Best Warrior competition. In March 2018, he graduated from the Non-Commissioned Officers Academy's Basic Leader course at Fort Dix, New Jersey. He was promoted to the rank of sergeant on July 1st of that same year. Staff Sergeant White completed the remainder of his military service with the 94th Military Police Company Detachment 1, based in Saco, Maine. He served as a squad leader, where he was responsible for overseeing 16 of 40 soldiers and specializing in military police combat operations. He concluded his service in 2021 with the rank of Staff Sergeant. Today, he continues his commitment to public service as a full-time firefighter with the Shrewsbury Fire Department. He resides in Shrewsbury with his fiancée, Dariana Girardi. Please welcome Sergeant Christopher White.
Thank you, John. Good morning. Thank you all for gathering here today on this solemn and sacred day. We pause as a nation to honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to the United States of America. Memorial Day is more than just the start of summer or a day off from work. It is a day of remembrance, a day of reverence, and a day to reflect on the true cost of the freedoms we often take for granted. Across generations, brave men and women have stepped forward to defend the ideals on which this country was founded: liberty, justice, and democracy. From the rolling fields of Gettysburg to the beaches of Normandy, from the mountains of Afghanistan to the sands of Iraq, these heroes answered the call not for glory, not for recognition, but out of duty, honor, and love of country. Today we also honor the families they left behind. The mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sons and daughters, who carry on with quiet strength and enduring courage. We owe a special debt of gratitude to our yellow ribbon families, those who have borne the burden of long deployments, uncertainty, and far too often devastating loss. Your sacrifice, though different from that of your loved ones in uniform, is no less heroic. You have stood strong in the face of worry and grief. You have held together homes and communities with resilience that inspires us all. On behalf of a grateful nation, thank you. It is said that a nation reveals itself not only by the people it produces, but the people it remembers. And so today we remember. We remember the names etched in stone in our hearts. We remember the folded flags, the 21 gun salutes, and the final goodbyes. We remember that behind every name is a story of bravery, of purpose, of sacrifice. Freedom is not automatic. It was and still is fought for. It is ours today only because others were willing to stand in the breach and say, I will go. As President Ronald Reagan once said, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on. Today we stand on the shoulders of heroes who did just that, and it is now our solemn duty to carry that responsibility forward. So as we enjoy this day, whether through parades, moments of silence, or time with family, let us not forget why we have it. Let us look around and truly appreciate the freedoms we hold to speak, to worship, to live the American dream, and remember those who ensured we could. May we live our lives in such a way that we are worthy of their sacrifice. To the fallen, we remember you, we honor you, we thank you. To the families, we see you, we stand with you, and we carry your loved ones' legacy with pride. God bless our service members, God bless our Gold Star and Yellow Ribbon families, and may God continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, for your words and for your continue to answer that call and serve our community as one of our own firefighters. Thank you. If I can direct your attention behind us, we will have a musical patriotic selection by our Oak Middle School 7th and 8th grade band. Thank you, middle school band. That was amazing. We will now be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Scouts from Pack 114. We have Lincoln and Logan Detrick and Rory Conlon. Be prepared to bring your units to present arms. Squeeze over. Present arms. Go ahead, guys.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ready? Two. Good job, guys. We will now have the wreath-laying ceremony led by Toronto Post Commander Fred Russell. Taps will be played by Shrewsbury High School band members Aidan Kunsch and Yarlin Suresh. So again, we'll be asking you to bring your units to attention and present arms. Present arms. Order. Arms. We will now be moving to the cemetery location. I ask you to give us a few minutes to ensure our veterans get back in their vehicles before we start moving to our next location. Thank you so much.
And that concludes this ceremony and services here at Town Center. What a really, truly beautiful service it was. Everything was just so heartfelt, inspiring. The Staff Sergeant Christopher White Memorial Address, just really so lovely, and quite stirringly, the Congregational Church bell tower rang the time with those beautiful bells ringing as he was speaking. It was quite stirring. And he very correctly brings up that this is a day of memory, a solemn day for us to remember all of those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for all of us. And that will continue as generations go by. We are very grateful to all who have served, who gave the ultimate sacrifice, and for all who are still serving, we pray that they are all remain safe and get home to all of us as soon as possible. The service is going to continue into Mountain View Cemetery. We will have that coverage with our fuller replay of what you have already seen at 7 o'clock on Channel 28. And then there will also be streaming of this entire ceremony on YouTube. So keep an eye out for all of that. We thank you again for joining us. Our Shrewsbury Media Connection annual coverage of the Memorial Day Parade. We thank everybody that volunteers to bring this to you. Shrewsbury Media Connection, a great place to bring your community together, to bring what you want to bring to the community alive. It's a great place to share. And we'd like to thank, of course, all the wonderful people that do this every year. As I said, two very special people, Paul and Chris Gustafson. We share this day with you. So have a wonderful rest of your day. And
On the back wheel. If you're in the front wheel.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. That was amazing. You ought to be singing at Fenway. Now we'll have the reading of General Logan's orders by Dia Shankar from the Shrewsbury High School Speech and Debate Team. In 1868, General John Logan, commander of the Grand Army of the Republic, a veterans organization, called for a nationwide day of remembrance of the fallen. This changed the Southern tradition of Decoration Day, going to the cemetery, laying flowers for the fallen, to a national day of remembrance.
The 30th day of May 1868 is designated for the purpose of strewing with flowers or otherwise decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country during the late rebellion, and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet churchyard in the land. In this observance, no form or ceremony is prescribed, but hosts and comrades will, in their own way, arrange such fitting services and testimonials of respect as circumstances may permit. We are organized, comrades, as our regulations tell us, for the purpose, among other things, of preserving and strengthening those kind and fraternal feelings which have bound together the soldiers, sailors, and Marines who united to suppress the late rebellion. What can aid more to assure this result than by cherishing tenderly the memory of our heroic dead, who made their breasts a barricade between our country and its foe? Their soldier lives were the revive of freedom to a race in chains, and their death a tattoo of rebellious tyranny in arms. We should guard their graves with sacred vigilance. All that the consecrated wealth and taste of the nation can add to their adornment and security is but a fitting tribute to the memory of her slain defenders. Let no wanton foot tread rudely on such hallowed grounds. Let pleasant paths invite the coming and going of reverent visitors and found mourners. Let no vandalism of avarice or neglect, no ravages of time, testify to the present or to the coming generations that we have forgotten, as a people, the cost of free and undivided republic. If other eyes grow dull and other hands slack, and other hands cold in the solemn trust, ours shall keep it well, as long as the light and warmth of life remain in us. Let us, then, at the time appointed, gather around their sacred remains and garland the passionless mounds above them with choicest flowers of springtime. Let us raise above them the dear old flag they saved from dishonor. Let us, in this solemn presence, renew our pledges to aid and assist those whom they have left among us as sacred charges upon the nation's gratitude, the soldiers and sailors, widow and orphan. It is the purpose of the Commander-in-Chief to inaugurate this observance with the hope that it will be kept up from year to year, while a survivor of the war remains to honor the memory of his departed comrades. He earnestly desires the public press to call attention to this order and lend its friendly aid in bringing it to the notice of comrades in all parts of the country in time for simultaneous compliance therewith. Department commanders will use every effort to make this order effective.
Thank you, Dia. We'll now have the wreath laying and salute by Raystone Post 238, led by Navy Captain Bob Holland. Again, Scouts, we will ask you to bring your units to attention. All tops will be played by Aiden Kunsch and Yarlin Stretch. Set, arms. Order, arms. We will now have a benediction for our fallen, led by Monsignor Mike Rose from St. Mary's Parish.
Let us pray. Lord God, we first of all thank you for the gift of this day and for the sun. As we gather on this Memorial Day, we give you thanks and praise for the opportunity that we have to remember, to hold in our memories those who have gone before us, to give thanks to you and to them, especially for those who have died in service to the country and all veterans of our country who lie here in peace, along and beside so many others to whom we are connected as well in the bonds of family, community. We ask you in this time of remembering to bless all your people throughout the world. As we take time to remember this day and to honor so many who have gone before us, we look to our future as a people, as a community, with hope and trust that you will inspire us and guide us to work with all the nations and all the peoples of the world to continue working for and building up communities of peace. Bless all who serve this day and all who look with hope to our future. Amen.
At this time, we'll have the reading of our 31 veteran squares for our Shrewsbury Fallen, done by our various scout units from town. Our scouts, if we can come forward.
Private James Schuler, World War I. Private James F. Sheehan, World War II.
Julius T. Benedict, World War II. James E. Conlon, World War I.
Byron E. Stone, World War I. Sergeant Raymond Stone, World War I.
Private Joseph W. Hickey, World War I. Sergeant Lloyd E. Hill, Korea. Private First Class Carl A. Johnson, World War II.
Corporal Alan E. Duke, World War I. PFC Richard D. Phippen, World War II.
Private Homer E. Vassar, World War II. Staff Sergeant Edward F. Wasaki, World War II.
Staff Sergeant Victor R. Quarenta, World War II. PFC Harold J. Salvador, World War II.
Captain Winthrop Avery, World War I.
Lieutenant William M. O'Donnell, World War II.
Lieutenant Colonel Walter J. Patton, World War II.
Sergeant Benrold F. Kranick, World War II. Francis S. McGuire, World War I. Private First Class Robert J. McGuire, World War II. Robert E. Marston, World War I.
Tech Sergeant Joseph D. McGarry, World War II.
Staff Sergeant Charles D. Murphy, Vietnam.
Staff Sergeant Walter F. Johnson, World War II.
Sergeant Melvin Kaiser, World War II.
Captain Isaac Harrington, Revolutionary War. PFC Brian M. Moquin, Jr., Afghanistan.
Sergeant Carl Furbeck, World War II.
Herbert B. Hapgood, World War I.
Now, if we can look behind us to the high school, they will lead us in a musical medley of patriotic songs. Thank you. That was a great rendition of Amazing Grace. I appreciate it. As we finish today, I'd like to leave you with a quote from Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Those who have long enjoyed such privileges as we enjoy forget in time that men have died to win them. So as we finish our day and honor our fallen, I'd like to give thanks to a lot of people, to our Parks and Rec Division, Laura Rossiter, Carly Morin, Jessica Revokas, Cemetery Division, Kevin Esposito and Michelle Cronin. For our scout leaders and our scouts, our musicians and their leaders, Tom O'Toole, Karen Wardwell, Michael Lapo-Mardo, Tony Ugliolaro, and speech and debate team coach Gabriel Hopkins. Thank you for all of our participants for joining us today. In your program, you'll notice we're honoring one of our fallen heroes, Don Gray, Korean War vet. Don was a commander of Greystone Post. He was our commissioner of Shrewsbury Veterans Council. He passed this year. We honored him in our program. I ask we bow our heads for a moment of silence for Don, all of our fallen, and all of our Gold Star families. So if we can, bow our heads, please. I thank you. I thank you for today. Hope you enjoy the rest of today. God bless our great country, and a reminder for our veterans, our local politicians, our dignitaries, and our fire, police, Coast Guard, please join us back at St. Mary's for a barbecue. Again, enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you so much for being with us.